Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of The Focus TV. Man, there's so much to talk about. It felt like we actually had an enjoyable All-Star weekend for what seems like the first time in quite a while. We're going to talk about that, but this evening we got Octavia Wyatt, Raymond Lyons, Cardell Dudley, Wilson Tarpey Jr., and so some college basketball is on the docket. 9-4-50, Jamal Haywood once again providing consistent content. Quick update on DC United as they continue to prepare for the regular season. And of course, no edition of the Focus TV is complete without Cardell tormenting us in rapid fire. But as I said with All-Star Weekend, we want to start there. We had a three-point shootout, the dunk contest, and then of course the All-Star game. So I wanted to start with a three-point shootout. Does everybody share their thoughts? And start wherever.
I mean, also we did have the skills challenge.
I'm sorry.
Got you.
I'm sorry.
No, we didn't. No, we didn't.
It happened. That's what happened. But three-point contest, I feel like that's always like the go-to every year. Like I'm never really disappointed in the three-point contest usually, because I usually have good shooters in it, and I feel like this year didn't disappoint. Everybody pretty much thought Devin Booker took it at the end, and to see how poised Buddy Hield was and knocking down, I believe they said every one of his money ball shots, putting them in the right place. To me, it just shows basketball IQ sometimes, like not even thinking about it that way, but for him to know, like, this is where I make all my shots, like, I'm going to put it here, that strategy within it as well. But I wasn't disappointed at all. I liked it. It showcases great shooters usually every year, and I wasn't disappointed with that this year.
Yeah, same here. It was enjoyable pretty much the whole weekend. And with the three-point shootout, I don't think people take into account the strategic part of it. Like, you have to practice that. Like, if you're a good in-game shooter, that doesn't mean you're going to do well in the three-point shootout. Like, it's a different rhythm. Like, you're getting up that many shots back to back to back. You're going to get fatigued quicker because just of the atmosphere and the pressure. You got to see where you're going to put your money rack. Maybe you shoot better at the top of the key, but most people put the money rack at the end in the corner, where that's maybe not where they're most lethal from. So that stuff comes into play. I like the addition of the two Mountain Dew balls. Like, that was especially with guys pretty much taking 30-footers every game now. That was that's a good way to kind of incorporate the climate of the league into the event. We had some drama at the end. Devin put up a good final round, but Buddy responded. Then to my point earlier, see a guy like Trae Young, who's used to kind of creating and shooting off the dribble, get into a contest like this, and he really underperformed. That just goes to show you it doesn't always translate. A lot of the best in this competition weren't the best in game. Well, in terms of creating their own shot, like you look at a guy like Craig Hodges, he won like 3 times. That's pretty much all he did, catch and shoot guy. So it's the skills in the game really don't always mean you're gonna be highly successful in this event. But yeah, it was I enjoyed it.
For me, it's just a competition. That's what I always look at All-Star Weekend. These are the whatever competition is, three-point dunk contest, All-Star game, these are the best of the best for that season, and typically season in, season out. I just like how it finished out. Devin Booker put the ultimate pressure on a 26. That normally wins it. Most years, that's game. And Buddy Hield stepped up to the challenge and answered the call, man. Made 4 of his final 5 in the final rack to win, including the final one to win it. So he earned that. That's what I hear a lot of people kind of harping on. We want to see more excitement, more this and that, and we need to change this and all that. No, just compete.
That is exciting.
What I'm saying? Competition is exciting. It's going to bring the best out of you, or we going to see that you ain't built for it. It's going to be go one or two ways. So that's the challenge, man. Like, you got 26, maybe see if I can top that. And he did, and in dramatic fashion. So, yeah, it was a great three-point shooting contest, and I'm glad it played out the way it did.
Yeah, it was definitely fun, and as Raymond said, having the 30-footers in there was kind of cool, but it was also interesting how it seemed to mess a couple people's rhythm up. Like, folks that had done the challenge before, like you said, there was a certain, they were used to their steps, where I think it was a couple times, a couple players, they went on to that middle rack, was like, oh, I got to come back. to take the 30 footer, and it was fun watching because yeah, it's the same shot, but it's not necessarily the same shot for some of those folks that don't use as much legs.
Mm-hmm.
That 30 footer, you can see like in game speeds, you kind of get the bop into that, right? It's a standstill shot. It's a little bit different. But yeah, it was fun watching Buddy Hield doing what Buddy Hield does because, keep it honest, a lot of people don't exactly watch the Sacramento Kings. It's not like they're on TNT or ESPN on a regular basis. So it's cool for them to kind of get that shine. And also, it's a clutch shot. What better way to end it than on the last one, right? I guess moving on to something a little bit more controversial.
Yeah, real controversial. I can say it for you now if you want.
Better be the goddamn.
Look,
Hell yeah.
your thoughts on the judges in the dunk contest?
I always wonder how they pick the. Not wonder how. I know how. It's just based off of like, okay, it's in Chicago. Who's the most famous Chicagoan at the time? I feel like it is. To me, I feel like if we just need like basketball minds in this situation, not just the flash and what they think, like, because the intricacies of everything that went on in the dunk contest, I feel like some of them missed. And I'm gonna go ahead and say it was highway robbery, and I don't blame him for saying he don't want to compete no more. But I feel like his pride will probably still let him compete because he's like, I feel like I should have had two. I agree with you. I don't understand. I read a tweet where they said that one way that they should look at possibly doing it, because obviously we had the situation last year where both dunkers were amazing, and I don't know if it was last year, but they tied and basically it was a dunk off, and they said that they should just take it to the judges' cards. Now, I say that with having sound mind judges at that point and have them just pick, like, instead of going back and forth, like, have them have a card, write the name of this is who they picked to win based off of everything, which I feel like is not a bad idea because you would then be judging it in the totality of the entire game, of the entire competition. But yes, Aaron Gordon was robbed again, and I don't know how they didn't see it. Don't get me wrong. Derek Jones was also amazing. But to be robbed twice like that's tough in a competition for All-Star Weekend. And like they said, like even they said some of these. Well, I'm pretty sure for Derek Jones as well. Some of his dunks weren't prepared. And to me that's even greater. Like for both of them to not have prepared some of these dunks and still be able to do them with ease. It's kind of crazy. But I just feel like he got robbed.
Yes.
Yeah, the judges thing I think needs some addressing. Like I've heard this around. I agree. It should be former competitors. Period.
That's a good point.
Like, cause they know like what goes into this contest. Like you said, they know about the intricacies and the small details, and the preparation of of how you get to that stage. So I think they would be the best people to judge what's going on. About the outcome, I gotta play devil's advocate. I don't think it was that huge of a thing. Like I could definitely see how people feel like Aaron should have won. If it ended that way, I'd have been cool with it. I was fine with Derek Jones winning. To be perfectly honest, I think what doesn't get talked about enough and what led to the disappointment at the end was that they didn't give the Derek Jones dunk right before Aaron jumped over Taco. That was a 50 dunk, and they gave him like a 47. Mm-hmm. So that's where they initially messed up. So and then looking at the Taco dunk, you got to compare it against the Derek Jones dunk, and they're like, well, that wasn't a 50. Then is this a 50? So they kind of painted themselves in a hole when they messed up the first one. So and I get Aaron Gordon's frustration. Like that's not his fault. He did off the top of his head, let me get the tallest person in the arena and jump over him. Like, wasn't practice. He doesn't know, like, really how tall Taco is and how to, like, that's off the top of your head just to do that and try it. Like, I mean, they both were 50 dunks. Like,
I don't know why they don't just end in a tie. I know that they say like a tie was never going to be the ending of it, but I don't see why not. Like, yeah, okay, we may not have a trophy for you right now, but the NBA can afford to get another trophy.
and like you said, it's 5 judges. Just do a majority vote. Like it's so many ways that this could have been avoided. And like I said, I get how Aaron feels. Like the last one against Levine, that could have went either way.
Yeah,
you know,
that was tough.
But the one thing I really don't appreciate is the whining aspect. It's not like he came in and Vince Carter the situation just blew everybody away. Like both of those were tough, close contests that could have went either way. So I get it, but just all right, dog. Just say you're not gonna do it no more. Like,
Cardell.
Nah, man. I mean, he definitely got robbed. I think people just need to really evaluate the difficulty and what each dunk is. Like you said, I agree with you. Jones had a dunk that was 47 or whatever it was, 45 or whatever, and it should have been a 50. You know what I'm saying? But with Gordon, you jumping over 7'6", dude. And that was the first time in the dunk contest. I was like, I don't know if you should try that. So I'm seeing your career flash before my eyes because Taco
Especially
played
with
here.
no practice.
Yeah, Taco played here a couple years ago at GW, and like my man don't even got to jump flat foot. He was just hanging on the rim like he's that big. And I'm looking at this dude right in front of me. I'm like, dang, he's a big dude, and for you to just clear him and dunk anyway, and you being 6'9", 16 yourself, and don't get clipped up and cost the Magic a fight to make the playoffs yourself, your career. That's within itself. My thing is, it was robbed in a sense. You denied us a great competition moving forward. Just give them the 50 and let them keep dunking. Eventually, somebody's gonna miss.
yeah,
Somebody's gonna be fatigued and miss, and then you like that's how you determine the winner. You keep going. These are pros. These ain't little kids. Like nah. Effort tie. This is the NBA, dog. Like it gotta be a win. I'm tired of that tie shit. Like play until somebody win. Like no participation awards. This is the problem now. But we see it all levels. Everybody want to make everybody happy. Look, it's gonna be a winner. It's gonna be a loser. Somebody gonna be pissed. So it is what it is. If you don't want to lose, you afraid of that. Don't be in the challenge. Don't be in the contest. So keep going. I mean, what the hell? They gonna run out of camera footage, film, or whatever time?
They ain't gonna run out of time because it ain't take that. That was the last event of the night.
right.
Come on. So keep going. The crowd was into it. Everybody saying up. You keep going. That's how I go, right? That's how we go in the park. That's how we're going any other dunk. Cause y'all keep going till somebody miss until it's clear a dunk don't measure up to somebody else's dunk, and that's the winner. That's where he got robbed. And these people talking about, man, he didn't even really clear him. Shut the hell up. Because I'm like, y'all can't even touch the net. Never dunked a day in your life. You going to sit up here and talk about that wasn't impressive. And you trying telling me jumping over 7'6" dude at 6'9" ain't hard. It's harder when you're taller because your legs are longer. You can get clipped up and stuff like that. And talking about he didn't really clear him. Actually, he did. He hit the ball. Taco's leaning forward. He had a ball up here, and he hit that part. But he still got enough every time to knock that thing down. So clearly he got over him. And really, he said he was going to get shot.
Yeah,
then they got on him like, no, get Taco. And then you like, all right, let me get Taco because they like this. And I know what he's thinking. If I clear Taco, this going to win it.
Yeah.
And then you get him a 47. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, D-Wade, you should know better, dog. I don't know what's going on with my man Wade, dog. He
done retired, lost his
he done
mind.
got Hollywood on. Like,
he got a lot going on.
Dude.
And Scott
His family, he got a lot going on right now.
Oh, shoot.
he got a lot. His wife getting
See,
suing
that's that
people.
petty. See, the petty.
No, I'm being serious. He
I
has
know
a
you
lot
do.
of family stuff going on right now.
Yeah,
His
I
wife suing people. You know, the whole situation with his child. I'm not joking about that. I'm being serious. No, that's what I'm not joking about that. I'm being serious. He really does have a lot going on in his family right now.
Then you might want to. He
Cut the
should
commercial,
have
man.
just
Cut the commercial.
He should have just set this one out, though. But
But nah, I'm with you. That's where I was like with the got robbed. I'm more so like I'm not with the outcome. It's they both had 50s. I want to see what was next. Like that. That's where he was in.
That's a good point.
And it was simple as I think this is kind of poor playing with the NBA, where I think most of us are aware, or most people, from a dunk contest aspect, you had two dunk contest dudes going at it, right? Usually, and I don't think people understand that, right? Like these are two dudes. They're built for dunk contests. They're also built for in-game dunks. Like this is what Aaron Gordon does. This is what Derrick Jones Jr. does. Like you said, let them go until the creativity runs out, or until somebody finally missed. It wasn't gonna end like we got robbed of something special. These dudes had so much. It felt like they left the ground and then decided what was gonna happen when
Yeah.
they got up there.
It's like,
and you
let's
robbed
not
us
try
from
this.
that just because it
Bro.
was time to go.
I'm just tired of people overthinking this. It's the highest level. It's
Just
the
let 'em
competition.
go.
Right, yeah, yeah.
Like Aaron Gordon might have came back. Your taco stand there. He might have did the little
He might have
360
went
one
over.
hand joint over him. But
Boom.
like you don't know. Like that's what pushes you. That's why
Or-
the Levine joint was probably the best
Yeah.
competition.
I
Like
was
going
gonna say,
back
because
and
didn't
forth.
theirs go longer?
Yeah. They just stopped
Yeah.
the jump, but I think Levine won at the end. But that was. I'm like, man, look though, this man going between his legs from the free throw line, windmilling it from the free throw line. You gotta look at the degree of difficulty, man. Like,
When they gave Dude the 47, and I'm like, y'all gave Levine a 50 for the same thing.
But see, that's why when you made the point that the judges should be previous dunk contest winners, I think that's really a good idea. As well as like, it can't be that hard to get the same 5 judges at least for a period of time. Like, because I'm saying like it would also give the competition continuity. So like every year, like they
Right.
know like this is how these judges are going to judge. Like to at least give them some type of continuity within it. I'm not saying they have to be the judge for 5 years straight or something like that, but at least like, all right, so these are going to be the judges for the next 2 years. Boom. And I think that's a great idea when you say it as far as like it being previous people who've competed in them, who know, like you said, what it takes.
but y'all giving y'all that's cool, but y'all letting them off the hook. D Wade done caught a lot of bodies.
Yeah.
He know the degree of difficulty he watching. Candace Parker, you don't call some
Do
bodies
Chad
too,
Bowes with?
huh?
The Black Panther.
Listen, man, I ain't
We
say
can't
his
vouch-
name.
We can't vouch
Or
for
Pip.
him. I'm not
I
saying
ain't
that
vouch
he
for.
can't.
I'm bringing up players. Pipna caught many of bodies. You know, he
Been
was
on
at the
the
dunk
other end, too.
contest.
Well, yeah, I'm not.
And
I
I-
agree with those.
so
I
he
just threw out the last
understands,
one.
Yeah.
But
At least like basketball players.
They just got to do
Yeah.
better. Period. Like
Yeah.
they dropped the ball. There was no reason for that thing to end that early. And then the way that it ended,
Yeah.
we watched all the 50s you gave out that night. Right? There was some subpar 50s given to other members earlier in the contest. Then you gonna give those 2 dunks at the very end, less than 50.
because they were just trying to go to the party.
No,
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 let's
but-
keep it a buck.
no,
Like,
no,
that's
I know,
what it
but
was.
that's what I'm saying.
And they was
to
just trying to end it.
Like there was a couple 50s in the first round. I'm like,
And we look. As soon as they said from Wakanda with Chadwick Boseman, he tapped out. He was done. He was just like, for real, y'all still doing this, y'all. You can see it in his face. They doing dunks. He just like this.
He be walking around still
He-
doing like this when
he
people
tired,
ask
dog.
him. You know he
He tired.
but the whole
dog.
mood changed. My man over that.
Yeah,
but
he threw, man.
but
He threw.
yeah, like they just got to do better. Like we really
seven.
Like
Let's get out
my
of
whole
here.
thing is, I felt like we would have got at least another 3 rounds out of that because
Yeah.
they were knocking their dunks down on the first attempt. Like on the first attempt, they were knocking these outrageous dunks out, and we just got robbed of seeing how it was really gonna end.
Dog,
Like-
7'6" dude. He ain't Sean Bradley, dog.
No, and the worst part is, how do we know Derek was gonna try to jump over the dude?
And he-
Like the type of bounce, like the level of bounce those 2 dudes had. Man, give us another round. We sat through the 3-point contest. There was like 3 different breaks in between.
I could have cut one of those out.
Come on, man. That's what. All right, but let's get to the All-Star game.
Yeah.
Well, you know, everybody was excited about the fourth quarter. That was extremely competitive. And then you know the normal overreactions of the greatest All-Star game ever, as if none have existed prior to this.
Oh, Jesus.
And I was talking to you, I think last night, night before, just like I'm happy that they competed in the fourth. I'm sad that all the different variables and things that came to bring this to fruition, to create this type of competitive nature, is what saddens me.
Yeah.
Should have been going at it like this just cuz. But it is what it is. And I look forward. I'm happy that it was this competitive this year. I look forward to when the 3 best shooters in the league come back next year. And
Oh,
that
man.
game becomes even more fun. Because I like watching killers. But go ahead. What do you guys think of the All-Star game?
Yeah, I mean, I was a little bit skeptical at first with the formatting and, everything that they were trying to input into it this year. But ultimately, like you said, the fourth quarter was very exciting, especially because usually nobody watches the fourth quarter in these All-Star games. But it was definitely exciting. It was nice to see, them play hard, like in an All-Star game. I'll just say that. In an All-Star game, we see them play hard, during their regular season games and everything, but it comes down to the All-Star game. Like, it's, for lack of a better term, kind of like the Pro Bowl. Like, like people are like, okay, everything else is cool, but they don't really play hard in this part, And to me, it's always taking away the competitive edge for it. And for people who are saying this is the best All-Star game ever,
Every time something exciting happens these days, it's the greatest ever.
this is why we have YouTube, guys. You weren't alive to see it.
What's
It
that?
happened.
What's that?
Y'all use it for everything else. So just go ahead and probably go back and check a couple other ones out, because although, yes, it was an exciting fourth quarter, there have been way more exciting All-Star games, don't get me wrong. But like you said, I am saddened that the situation that happened is what caused them to play like this. But, you know, the silver lining in it all is that it didn't make them play like that, and maybe it will let them realize that nothing is promised. You know, you got to play hard every time you go out there on the court, whether it's a regular season game, preseason game, all-star game, championship game, whatever, playoffs, that time is not guaranteed, you know, so you got to always go out there and put your best foot forward. But it was definitely a great game. I loved finally, because I haven't watched a lot of Thunder games this year, I love seeing CP3, because I always felt like after he left the Rockets and went to the Thunder, like, people would think he would fall off or anything, because he is one of the older vets, I guess you can say at this point. But he was out there like it wasn't nothing, so it was good to see him still playing hard. But it was all in all a good fourth quarter.
Right.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. You know, seeing them compete and go at it like that in the fourth quarter, like that. Haven't seen that type of intensity in an All-Star game, and
Long time.
Yeah. So that was refreshing. But like you said, it's offensive to me that it took all these gimmicks and nonsense to make people go out there and compete. Like, this is the premier event of the weekend strictly for the fans, and to have in previous years people just lollygagging out there, laying on the floor so you can jump and dunk and all this stupid stuff, like, come on, man, like, that's disrespect to the people that's paying money to come see the greatest pickup game in the world, which it hasn't been for a long time. But yeah, no complaints from me from this weekend. Kyle Lowry out there taking charges, people playing defense. Like, that was, I thoroughly enjoyed watching that.
Yeah. Chicago represented. I want to give them credit. That's the best weekend probably in my lifetime where they represented from start to finish, where they held it down basketball-wise. And whoever, you know, got all that entertainers commenting, and Jennifer Hudson and all those, you know, guys that come in and do their thing, that was right on time. Some other pro leagues need to take notes, you know what I'm saying? Because they held it down. I mean, Common had a rhyme for every player. I'm like, dog, he giving y'all free game for a commercial. All y'all got to do just give him the bag, you know what I'm saying? Like, he rhymed with Antetokounmpo. I'm like, how the hell you do that? I'm like, you a GOAT.
He figured it out.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? But I'm a big Common fan, so I know he get down. But, you know, it's just, the game was what it should be every year. There's no excuse. I mean, the schedule was spread out. They took away back-to-backs. You get like a week off from the All-Star game. You don't play again until Thursday after the All-Star game, and everybody ain't an All-Star. So really, your last game was about good last Tuesday, last Wednesday. So you get about a week and a half off. You chill.
Also, those who rode the bench in the fourth quarter, you didn't also play.
Yeah, I'm getting all that. You see what I'm saying? So I'm just saying that's what it's supposed to be. That's supposed to be the greatest pickup game in the world, but it's supposed to be competitive. And I'm gonna give Giannis the credit for that, because the first quarter was similar to what we've been seeing. It's like, here we go. But Giannis in the second quarter, after they lost, he just started being what he was with the Bucks. I'm just going to bring it down, dunking on everybody. And then they dominated him. And then they tied in the third quarter, so that forced everybody to rise. And then with Greek Freak setting the tone, Kawhi was pretty much Kawhi throughout the game, but with Greek Freak setting the tone, then you got Kyle Lowry out there battling, banging. I mean, Chris Paul, he defended Shockham in the post. Shockham ain't know what to do. He had to pick that ball up. He couldn't even move. Greek Freak blocking LeBron fade away and stuff like that. LeBron gas because he got to play defense. And you even see Embiid trying. Embiid never tried.
Hey, if I'm a Sixers, like a member of the Sixers front office, I'm looking at that game and I'm like, so it can be done.
Nah, and then on top of that, you got coaches calling timeout strategy. You could see they were intense. They were into it. They arguing with the rest. They ain't they getting into it. And certain players that are limited on that end, they couldn't play in the fourth quarter. They was like, hell no, you gonna blow this joint. And even Greek Freak post game, but Greek Freak post game said, what was the strategy? He was like, whoever James Harden was guarding, get him the ball. So, and this is why I always say, in comparison to previous eras and stuff like that, I always give them the edge up on these current era, because you saw a lot of players in the fourth quarter when real defense was applied, all that little cute tricky stuff and everything, it got shut down. And they weren't the same. A lot of people got exposed. It was some guys that it was business as usual, like Greek Freak and Kawhi and all that. Then there was some guys, they was getting up under and they I don't know what to do. I got to post up. Like, you really guarding me. I'm coming off the screen and there's people, no. They confused. They don't know what to do.
Take this back.
Yeah.
What is this resistance?
Yes, it's called resistance. It's defense.
I think one of them that had me dying was Harden got a screen, and one of it might have been Lowry or Walker, whatever. They weren't rocking with the screen. They were like, nah. Because usually Harden gets the screen and gets the easy pull. Mm-hmm. They got through it, and he's like, oh, you still here.
Yes.
And then my man moved the ball. He was like, he gave him a little chicken with, you're not leaving. Oh, here.
Oh, no. And B, he come down. He come down, get a screen. LeBron on him. I'm not going to settle for three. I'm going to back your look. We're going to test to see if you do that strong. Back him all the way underneath the basket. All LeBron can do is foul him. See what I'm saying? I mean, great basketball where you see why certain guys are who they are. Yeah. And it came down to a free throw when Anthony Davis made it to seal the game. Missed the first one time about, I did it on purpose. Get the hell out of here.
You sure you did. I didn't believe that neither.
Or you was shook out. You like, hold on. And here's another thing I saw. A lot of players that all world scorers, they got fatigued when they really had to play defense. They were missing free throws. They were missing 3-pointers, airballing them. I'm like, it's different when you got strap up, dog.
That 30-footer look different when your legs hurt.
Them legs
like,
get heavy.
They was missing clutch free throws, all that, man. Look, so
not attempting layups.
Kyle Lowry taking charge on LeBron James. Dudes don't need to do that in a regular season game, man. I mean, it was just, that's what the Cousins paid to see, and that's what I mean by competition. And it's sad that people they think that was so great because they're not used to seeing competition. This is the first time. When we grew up, this was every game.
Par for the course.
This was every game. We ain't have to worry about that.
82. Regardless of what was happening.
It ain't take much to get people going, bro. Like back in the day, it's just like a word. All right. If you dunk on somebody and look funny, it's on. Let's go.
Yeah.
And truth be told, if youngest will study the game, the best All-Star games were in the 80s when Magic and Isaiah were running point because they was back and forth. You couldn't rest. Like, you could be like, I'm gonna take it easy. Oh, wait a minute. You gotta run. You gotta play defense. You gotta
right
run
up your
back.
back.
You get the ball. Right. It's just sub out.
Hey, look, it was transition off makes.
Thank you.
Like, it was literally transition off makes.
As soon as the ball went through the net.
Hey, look, you jogging back, your man done scored and coming back the other way.
Bro, it's bragging rights because back then it was east to west for real. So it's bragging rights. It's like, y'all ain't finna say y'all better than us for the whole year. We got to listen to this crap and stuff like. I remember it was one in Seattle. What's my man name? Played for the Mavericks. Rolando Blackman.
Oh yeah.
And it was tied.
Them free throws.
And he had to make the free throws a tie. And Isaiah and them going talking trash. I'm like, you gonna miss pushing them off the free throw line, messing them. And he made them send it overtime. My man just screamed. And it, like, that's how bad they wanted to win. You saw a taste of that in the fourth quarter. And because Embiid was talking to Anthony Davis when he missed. Yep. And I was like, I'd have went crazy. I'd have been saying some reckless stuff, dog. I was like, man, your city is mine. This is my city. I own it. I own real estate here. Like, I'd have got into him. You're nothing without the LeBron. Like, you wasn't built to lead. I'd have went in on him, man.
I forgot who it was, and it was a good idea where I think this would help heighten it up. Because, again, I'm going to accept that the current players are how they are, and you need to find different ways to motivate them. I'm just going to let it go and accept it. They are who they are. It is what it is. The U.S. versus the world thing, put it in the All-Star game format. I don't know if there's enough.
If y'all watched it,
or there's not enough world players.
It ain't
for the
enough
All-Star
world
game.
players at that level.
Yeah, and elite. Yeah.
Because you gotta understand when KD and Steph get back, they will be on. They gonna get
well,
started.
You know that's true.
Like they top
but
heavy.
I
I'll
did
just wait till
enjoy
they
that.
get back. Period. It's fine.
I did enjoy the USA versus world game though.
Well, yeah, like y'all said, that's the level under. With the
yeah, I mean like the I guess they call it the Rising Stars
Rising
Challenge.
Stars game.
Yeah, I did enjoy it because you don't really get to see them. Just them. Like a lot of times when you're watching the games, you're focused on the ones that are coming up, but you're drawn to the stars. You know, so I liked watching it with just them and being able to see like, oh, okay, like these may be some people I might have missed. Maybe I need to watch some more of this team play. Although I liked him before, I really kind of started to like fall for like I like John Morant. Like I liked him before, but I like his motor. Like
Real deal.
Oh, like I was just like, this is the type of player I could get behind. Like, yeah, so
Real deal. But yeah, that it works more for rising stars because they all in their first and second year, they on the level playing field.
I think about it, the elite level, they're not all there.
I mean, dog, the big game.
They can't fill the roster up.
Once you get past Jokic and Greek freaking, you know, once you get past those guys that get to the bench,
get real thin.
I mean, dog, you got Russ and them coming off the bench, dog. MVPs coming off the bench.
You know what? You're right.
It's not going to work.
Because I'm trying to think, like, who else besides a couple that you name would be on the world?
We'll just wait till they get back next year.
I was say the concept would work, but they just don't have the roster to fill it out. Yeah.
Gotta give KD and Steph dual citizenship.
Yeah. We can stop there. It's fine.
KD got to be from somewhere else.
They're going to deserve some.
We just got to, like he said, give him dual citizenship somewhere else. I'm like, all right, now you on the world team.
Rookie, he going to have to play, though.
You know what? You're right. We'll leave it like that. We'll wait for the 3 best shooters in the league come back next year, and it should be fine. But yeah, it was good to have a competitive game, but I gotta stop getting so caught in the moment, man. Like Octavia said, y'all get on YouTube for everything else. Google it, man.
It's easy.
It takes 2 seconds to hit that search bar.
I mean, they even got it where you can press a button and just speak.
Oh, I gotta say this. Y'all youngins, man. This is why I can't take youngins seriously, man. I saw the little ESPN, they do this every year with the rookies. They bring up, like, can you identify this from the 90s or something in the past?
Oh.
How in the hell you not gonna know who Missy Elliott is? No, scratch that. How in the hell RJ Barrett, Wendell Carter, how y'all not gonna know what he got game is and you a hooper, dog?
I always watch them things. I
watched that this morning.
It was like one time they was looking at like, who is this person? Now granted, I don't feel like everybody should know her, but you should kind of at least know what she looked like. It was a picture of Britney Spears. I was like, goodness gracious, you don't even know that?
Really made me mad. They had a picture of Full House, the Olsen twins, and they said, "Was this the Cosby Show?"
Yeah, Wendell Carter said the Cosby Show. Looking at Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen. With that, we're gonna take our first break. We're gonna take our first break.
Come on, son.
Watching the Focus TV. When we get back, gonna get into this college basketball.
That's why the Bulls. No.
Welcome back to the Focus. Fun time. Shout out to young rookie classes.
That's why they say you should be seen and not heard. And y'all be trying to jump in these all-time debates. Shut up.
Oh man, it was like it was a picture of a Walkman and they were lost. Then they were like a boombox. They were like, oh no, somebody called the Walkman. They were like, is that an MP1? All right, so college basketball segment. I'm sorry to do that to you, Carter. We gotta talk. But George Washington men's and women's. The floor is yours. I'm sorry.
Hey,
I'm sorry, bro. You want me to go?
I got you. I got it, man.
Sure?
Let me get my.
Look, I got you real quick. All right, so Terps women's, and then we got Cardell's gonna talk about GW men's and women's, and then Terps men's, and then a matchup between Essex and Lackawanna. I got you after this show. Lady Terps, real quick. The Terps have 9 wins over RPI top 50 teams, 6 over teams ranked in the AP top 25. Right now, they're riding an 11-game win streak. They're winning average. They're winning by an average margin of victory of 23.5. Since the last time we were in the studio, the Terps had 2 games. One was on the road to Penn State. They took care of business in that one, big second half. They were leading by 1 at the half. Then they went on one of those runs. They won that one 106-69. The one that we went to last week, it got billed as a big, top-notch 2 heavyweight fighters matchup atop the Big Ten for first place. One of the fighters got stuck in neutral. Things got real. It was a Mike Tyson type fight. If you ordered it on pay-per-view, it was short-lived.
Dang.
Hope you didn't go to the kitchen.
You missed it.
You missed it all. The Terps, they got in the hole early on the road against Iowa early in the year. This isn't the same Terps team. Ball pressure. Recruit guards that can handle pressure. If you don't, and you play teams like Maryland, it's not fun. They got after those girls. There was nowhere on the court that was safe. There were people looking down at their hands when they tried to dribble. If you did successfully get the ball up court and then try to make a pass, that person was hounded. It was a defensive clinic, and Maryland, again, their whole thing is, defend, rebound, and run. They did those 3 things on a regular basis in that game, and they got Iowa up out of there, man. It was bad. 74-38 heading into the fourth quarter. That was supposed to be for the Big Ten. Yeah. And they rose 3 spots in the rankings. They went from 10 to 7 during that. And also, just in the coming weeks, I want to take a little bit more time to talk about the growth in Kyla Charles' games, just how she's continuing to develop. Right now, one of the biggest things is her ever-improving mid-range game. It's been something we've seen so much this year, and it really changes things because she's able to, she's going to attack off the bounce, and when she gets downhill, she's a terror because athletically, that's a whole different. She has a God bless her family from an athletic standpoint. She gets downhill, she's a whole problem. In transition, she's a problem. But now, because you have to honor her ability to go by mid-range jumper and knocking it down repeatedly. So credit to her for her continuing evolution. But yeah, man, they're just in a good place right now. And up next, they hit the road once again to take on Wisconsin. Cardell.
All right, I'm gonna start with GW men's. Armel Potter returned after missing 3 games. He suffered a bad hip injury. If I'm remembering correctly, against St. Joseph, and GW suffered for it. They didn't really have the leadership and the point guard to kind of control the game. Not like Potter. Potter's been excellent all year since he kind of exploded December. Once he kind of got the reins completely, he's been unstoppable. He's been doing this thing. He actually returned against. We were in the game against George Mason, and it looked like he never left. He scored a game-high 20 points, dished out 8 assists, and grabbed 6 rebounds to lead GW to a 73-67 win over George Mason, completing a season sweep of the Patriots. Junior Maceo Jack added 19 points on 7 of 9 shooting from the field, including 4 3-pointers. Freshman guard Jameer Nelson Jr. had 16 points and 5 rebounds, and fellow freshman Jamison Battle dropped 13 points. George Mason, freshman point guard, led the way for them with 17 points, and fellow freshman Josh Adoro had 13 points and 11 rebounds. The difference in the game was 3-point shooting. Simple as that. GW shot 40% from deep. George Mason shot 22%. GW also dished out 13 assists compared to George Mason's 8 assists. It was just they know how to defend the 3 well. It's the other things where GW kind of struggles with on that end, like defending inside, defending mid-range jumpers, staying disciplined when guys are moving without the ball or whatnot. But, obviously they did enough to win the game to get the sweep. The 11-14 Colonials will travel to face Duquesne tomorrow at 8 p.m. GW women's, same thing. They hosted George Mason. They scored 6 points in the final minutes to beat them 62-57. Trailing by 1 with 56 seconds left, GW redshirt freshman Iowa Taiwo grabbed an offensive rebound while being fouled. She hit 1 or 2 at the line to tie the game. Graduate student Alexandria Miles snatched the offensive rebound with a miss, extending the possession. With the shot clock winding down, redshirt freshman Tori Haidu drove strong to the cup and converted the layup to push GW in front 59-57 with 19 seconds left. The Colonials then forced to stop on the other end and hit 3 or 4 free throws down the stretch to secure the win. Mal led the team with 16 points and 8 boards. Tyrell added 11 points and 9 rebounds. 4 of her 9 boards came down the stretch. GW will now hit the road for their final 2 road games of the season, beginning with a trip to first place Dayton tomorrow at 7 p.m. Also want to give a special shout out to Maryland men's, who actually moved up in their overall rankings to number 7. I've always, since they moved to the Big Ten, my thing with them is I don't care how many games they win. If they can't beat Izzo, I'm not trying to hear nothing.
Right.
It's the same way in the ACC. If you can't beat Coach K, I'm not trying to hear nothing about Final Four or nothing like that because you're going to have to deal with them. And they finally got it now. And because certain wins carry a lot of weight depending on what league you in. With they put it together. They finally showed mental toughness, and it's not that they won, it's the way they won that let me know, okay, you got to consider them a Final Four contender. Anthony Cowens, who's having an All-American caliber season, I'm still not sure how he didn't make the Cousy Award finalist list for the top point guard in the nation. I don't know how that happened, but he scored 11 of his 24 points in the final 2+ minutes, helping the Terps beat the Spartans 67-60. The Terps scored the final 14 points of the game after trailing by 7 with 3:24 left. That's what I mean by mental toughness, especially at Michigan State, man. You just don't do that at Michigan State. It's the first win at Michigan State for Maryland since the 2016-2017 season. So we knocking on 4 years.
Yeah.
That's how dominant Michigan State has been against them. Jalen Smith, more coming on him very soon from the pro, trust me. Added 17 points and 10 rebounds, including a critical 3-pointer with just over 3 minutes remaining. Michigan State, Xavier Tillman had 18 points and 11 rebounds, and point guard Cassius Winston had 14 points and 5 assists. Tom Izzo just summed it up. He said championship teams make championship plays down the stretch, and that's what the Terps did. They made championship plays down the stretch. Maryland is hosting last place Northwestern as we speak right now, and Maryland improved to 21-4, and they're 11-3 in the Big Ten, so they control their destiny moving forward. And now people are taking them seriously as Final Four contenders. We just have to see if they can stay consistent through the Big Ten tournament and finishing up this regular season. And I will be at CCBC Essex tomorrow. They are the top team, with the top Maryland JUCO women's team in the area, period. They won the regular season championship outright. They host Lackawanna College from Pennsylvania. Both teams are nationally recognized right now, so it's going to be a big deal with national implications. Essex is ranked 12th in the nation, and Lackawanna is right outside the top 25 with votes, so they're right there. Essex is 24-2, and they're riding a 13-game winning streak. They have not lost a game since December 14th. The Knights are led by sophomore guard Maya Moye, and Anacostia standout, who's averaging a team high 23.2 points, 6.8 assists, and 4.9 rebounds per game. Earlier this season, Moye scored a NJCAA women's basketball senior game record of 81 points in a win over Northern Virginia. 5'8" sophomore guard Casey Gagan. She's a Rhode Island transfer, is averaging 16.8 points, 4.7 assists, and 4.1 rebounds per game. Lackawanna College, they come in with a 23-3 record, riding a 15-game winning streak. They haven't lost since December 17th, and they're on right. Yeah. So yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be some furniture moving tomorrow. The Falcons are led by sophomore guard Brianna McCullough, who leads the team with 16.2 points, 7 rebounds, and 2.2 steals per game, while sophomore point guard Kyra Lloyd is averaging 13.3 points and a team high 7.3 assists and 2.2 steals per game on 52% shooting from the field and 41% shooting from deep. Essex is bigger with 5 players between 6 feet and 6'3" to go along with their lethal backcourt play, but Lackawanna College is versatile and they're tough. Whereas Essex thrives with their offense, Lackawanna is the opposite. They lock you up. They're ferocious defensively. They are only allowing 28.8 points a game.
28?
28. Allowing 27% shooting from the field and 22% from deep. So Essex brings one of the most lethal offenses in the country. They're averaging 93.9 points and 17.8 assists per game. So it's going to be a great battle of styles tomorrow, and the game takes place at 6 p.m.
That's going to be a fun one.
Yes, it will.
Top-notch offense, top-notch defense.
Yes.
You said someone's giving up 28 points on 27% shooting?
Yes.
I just want to make sure I heard that correctly, because that's ridiculous, sir.
Yes. So
28 on
I should see a lot of area college coaches because they can use them in the building tomorrow.
Yeah.
Pennsylvania and right here at home in Baltimore. a lot of prospects that can help a lot of D2, D1 teams right now.
That number's going to be stuck in my head for a little bit. 28 points on 27% shoot.
Strap it up.
Straps.
Strapping up.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. All right, quick DC United update. It's not good news. It is preseason. Paul Areola was injured in DC United's 1-0 preseason win over Orlando City SC. Multiple reports, and it has now been confirmed that he's torn an ACL.
Yikes.
And there's been no timeline for his return as of yet. DC United opens the 2020 regular season at home against the Colorado Rapids. So there's a lot of quality on this team in terms of talent. Now it's one of those things where this is one of the reasons, and they've been through this at different positions in the past 2 years with just depth. Just depth is huge. They got to get a little deeper, obviously, where Paul is, and that's why it's kind of good that they did bring back Emil Assad this year. They got a couple options to play out there, but you still got to get deeper now that some of your depth has to take a step up. So that's just an area. We'll see if any moves are made in the coming weeks. And again, definitely, I can't wait to get back out to Audi for the opening game, man. I miss Audi very much.
I still got to see what it's all about.
Yeah, I'm trying to get y'all there one or two times this year. I miss it so much. But the 77th installment of the 9450 Breakdown. Shout out to Jamal Hayward. 77th. This week is demoing a breakdown behind the back dribble. Different versions of it and options after the dribble. Again, it's a behind the back dribble. Different versions of it and those options after the behind the back dribble. That's followed by our second break when we get back. Some rapid fire before we close. You're watching the Focus TV.
Today we're going to work on a simple move called a behind the back dribble. And we're going to show you some different options off of it. So, when you change directions, you can cross over, you can go between, and then you can also go behind the back. Behind the back and between the legs, mainly behind the back, is probably the safest to avoid the ball being taken away from you by the defender. So I'm going to start going left. So when I go left here, a few different ways you can do it. You can do a simple behind the back where you sweep one foot behind. You can do one dribble, set the left foot out and behind, or you can go one dribble, drag behind, shot. So when you're doing the behind the back dribble, one dribble, sit down. So it is important that you have a seat when you go behind the back. If you stay too high, the dribble is already low, and if you don't pound the ball, it's not going to come back to the other hand. So some options off the behind the back dribble. Here, behind, out, shot. You can do it either way. One dribble behind, then bracket, shot or layup. So those are two options, and there's plenty other more that you can utilize off the behind the back dribble. Today we're going to work on a simple move called a behind the back dribble. And we're going to show you some different options off of it. So, when you change directions, you can cross over, you can go between, and then you can also go behind the back. Behind the back and between the legs, mainly behind the back, is probably the safest to avoid the ball being taken away from you by the defender. So I'm going to start going left. So when I go left here, a few different ways you can do it. You can do a simple behind the back where you sweep one foot behind. You can do one dribble, set the left foot out and behind, or you can go one dribble, drag behind, shot. So when you're doing the behind the back dribble, one dribble, sit down. So it is important that you have a seat when you go behind the back. If you stay too high, the dribble is already low, and if you don't pound the ball, it's not going to come back to the other hand. So some options off the behind the back dribble. Here, behind, out, shot. You can do it either way. One dribble behind, then bracket, shot or layup. So those are two options, and there's plenty other more that you can utilize off the behind the back dribble.
Welcome back to the Focus TV. As always, thank you very much to Jamal Hayward for the job that he does with the 9-4-50 breakdown. All right, man, it's rapid fire time. Cardell, what you got for us, sir?
First question, we decided to let the fans answer, so we touched on Aaron Gordon in the dunk contest. A lot of people having mixed reviews, some saying, he got robbed, some saying he didn't. That's what it is, man. We just basically bringing it in. We let the fans decide. And with the polling, we found out a lot of people agreed that he did get robbed. It was 90% to 10%. And hey.
I'm sorry. I'm pre-reading them so I can edit them when I read them out loud.
Don't.
So that's what the last.
You need a bleep button.
Yeah.
Man. I'm talking about
show, man.
Hey, I'm talking about the type where you gotta hold the button down.
Yeah.
All right, so Hunter Dickerson,
The Mathis Center, yeah.
The Mathis
Michigan
Center.
commit.
All caps, highway robbery.
Yep.
All right, up next, we got Gistovich.
James Gist, yeah.
From someone who actually graduated from the School of Skywalkers, Jones only had one dunk that was, some emojis. And that was between the legs off the glass. It was tough. But no way Gordon doesn't win. He got 4 straight 50s and a 47, which dunking over Taco Fall compared to Jones' generic windmill inside the free throw line. No way Gordon doesn't win. He might be the best dunker to never win. Hashtag sit crown. All right. Up next, Davian _B17. Nope. Let's be real. The TikTok dunk should have been a 47 tops. He ducked over 5'9" chance 3 times. Parentheses, repetitive and boring. On his dunk over Taco, he went over the back of his neck, left some stuff out there. He didn't even completely clear him. And again, as Cardell pointed out earlier, he grabbed the basketball. Taco's huge mitts are also above his head. Y'all got to do more.
Do less, say less.
He didn't complete, man, look. So no, he didn't get robbed. He's a sorry competitor. Dude knows the rules. And then after this second round, being deadlocked at 100, he takes his shoes off and begins to pout like a child. He needs to hold the L, and people need to get off the he got robbed back bandwagon. Shout out to social media and hearing what you guys have to think. We truly appreciate all 3 of you for taking the time to comment. That's what I can guarantee, is that we appreciate you taking the time to engage. All 30 of you. That's all I have. And I'm going to pat my own self on the back because the editing in this, boy, y'all don't know. Go ahead, Craig.
Second question I'm going to throw at y'all is the ACC backs the Big Ten proposal to allow every athlete a one-time transfer without sitting out. The ACC announced Monday that it supports a proposal that the Big Ten would allow undergraduate student athletes in all sports to transfer once without sitting out of competition for 1 year. The current rule mandates that undergraduate transfers in football, men's basketball, women's basketball, baseball, and hockey must receive a waiver from the NCAA to be eligible immediately. Players in the remaining sports are allowed to transfer without sitting out. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's a good idea. I mean, I personally never understood the complete reasoning behind them having to sit out a whole year, me personally. So until they can prove to me why they should, I don't see the reason why they shouldn't. I do think that they would have to probably police it a little bit more, because now I feel like if that happens, everybody and their mama gonna start transferring when they got an attitude about something.
Yelling at me, coach.
I'm out, and I'm playing next year. So I feel like it's gonna still come. Like, I feel like they should still have some type of clause or waiver in there somewhere that deems certain reasonings not to be eligible for it. Like, to me, it has to be like a legit reason why you're transferring and need to immediately play again. But I think it's a good idea. I think, anytime I feel like, they look into certain rules and things like that and are looking for, ways to change it, make it better, it always helps. Even if it doesn't get passed, at least it brings it to the forefront, so that way they can maybe continue to evaluate it and see how they can make it better. But to me, if there's no valid reason why they can't play the next year, I don't see why would they need to waste a year of their lifetime, especially when they're usually around that time getting closer and closer to their prime and trying to make a league. I don't understand the reason why you would make them sit out, but like I said, I feel like they should still have some type of claim or waiver or clause or something in there.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like it's about time where they start to do things that are more in favor of the athletes. Like you said, Octavia, I've never understood the reasoning behind the making them sit out. Like you get, no matter the situation, like a freshman comes in, a coach they committed to quits in the middle of the year, leaves after the season, and they got to make a decision whether they want to stay here or even have the opportunity to follow the coach or what have you. And they have to waste a year of their college career. And coaches can move freely and do whatever they want. Like it's not fair, and I think this is a good step towards making things more fair for the student athletes. The NCAA is just
the NCAA, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. Thank y'all for stepping in before
we need the bleep button again.
Before I got us in trouble, but yeah, with some policing and some and some boundaries set around it, students should be able to transfer if the situation warrants and still be able to play and not lose a year of their eligibility.
Yeah, I think it's a no-brainer decision. I also think it's one of those things where it's kind of like, hey, look, shiny new thing that we should have did all right. But by the way, we're also moving towards legislation to make sure the players never get paid. Yay. So I don't really care that you're allowing them to transfer when it should have been a thing as soon as you let coaches do it whenever they want to. Come in people's houses, have your kid commit, what have you. I get a better opportunity. Deuces, I'm going to get at you. But coach, I just got here. That's on you. I guess I'll see you in another year or two. If there's a spot here for you. So, I mean, yeah, it's a good thing. I'm just not impressed because, it's the NCAA. That small drop of good faith means nothing to me in the bigger picture. But like y'all said, yeah, it needs to be policed. But, yeah, I'm kind of cynical about it, that's all.
I mean, of course, I agree with all y'all. It's great. It also puts a little pressure on the coaches, to be honest, when they're recruiting. Stop making empty promises to student athletes. Then when they arrive on campus, it's not exactly what you're saying. You're just saying it to get them on campus, potentially keep them from going to another school and having to deal with them, because they can just up and go. You want some BS. So I think across the board, it makes people be accountable. But also, I agree with Octavia. It should be some kind of rules in place, because too many of these kids feel like as soon as there's a little adversity, as soon as things don't go their way, they're looking for the front door. They looking to be out, and it's hard to sustain a team, a program, when everybody know they got it out. You know what I mean? So it can't just be. It should be an option, but it has to be something logical where it warrants it. Like if your mom said, "Yeah, I get it, you want to come home," or whatnot. If it's something along those lines, if it's just some BS, man, the coach don't click, man. He hard on you, man. Work that out, though. It's all life.
Or sit out a year.
Yeah. So it's up to you. So.
One more question. What you got for us, man?
Quarterback Drew Brees just announced on Instagram that he's returning for the 2020 season. Next to a photograph of a mountaintop on Instagram, he wrote, "My feelings about the 2020 season. I look forward to the grind and the journey, for the reward at the end will be worth it. Love you. Who Dat Nation. Let's make another run at it." The 41-year-old Brees has been with the Saints since 2006, and is coming back should help keep them atop the list of NFC contenders for another year. You hear that, Eagles and 49ers? Okay, and the Saints are in the interesting position.
I like how you slipped that in there. That's
as
cool.
They hope to hang onto restricted free agent gadget player Taysom Hill, backup quarterback Terry Bridgewater, chokers, also an unrestricted free agent, and should have interest, even if not at the levels some are suggesting.
Hey, look, man. We did do that. We definitely did.
I just know we won recently. That's all I know.
Hey, look, you know what?
Hey, we did too.
And that's something we got to wear. Just like, we wear it, no whining, New Orleans. And you just got to wear it. I'm
Yeah, they
glad-
did whine. They
Look,
did whine.
I'm glad
They got
that
a
you
whole
have the
rule change.
energy.
They whined.
Yeah, they did.
Y'all change your rules and still losing. But the thing I found funny about it, I'm sorry for skipping turn. Like,
No, you
y'all
good.
really out here talking about Taysom Hill like he about to come out here and set the world on fire, man. The way that y'all been talking about Taysom Hill for no good reason the last 3 weeks, it serves you right that Drew Brees woke up and was like, stop it. Like Drew Brees, y'all know that Michael Jordan meme, which is like, stop it. Like it's young Mike with the hair. That's what Drew Brees woke up this morning on. Taysom Hill's going, what? Stop it. Stop it.
First of all, he didn't even beat out Terry Bridgewater.
That's what I was gonna say, because that, like, what I read too is like them trying to like retain all three of them is gonna be the most difficult part. But I mean, I get why they like Taysom Hill, but don't you need a quarterback?
I'm going to say it. Mike Florio, stop it. Mike Florio, stop it. Pro Football Talk, stop it. It sounds crazy. Came on here and talk about mentioning Taysom Hill, Lamar Jackson in the same sentence. Boy, if you don't sit down,
Who said that?
Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk, sit down. Your Vikings lost.
Can I write
let
a
it
letter
go.
for him to?
That's it. Just please stop. Every
But he's a reporter for Pro Football.
he's the dude of Pro Football Talk. Like that's his whole thing.
Oh, so
So
he
he
his
the
own
top
boss.
dog.
That's the dude who gets into it with Sherm and all types of people that are non
And I
Vikings.
see why.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
he's a
I-
big
I-
Viking
It
makes
guy.
sense
Yeah,
now.
Yeah.
How
He's
the
a-
hell you gonna compare
just-
somebody that
just-
don't get on the field to an MVP?
And he's been doing it on social media for the past 3 weeks. Trying to be like, well, you know, that's the type of Mike Florio, stop it. Drew Brees, thank you for waking up this morning and ending this foolishness. So about, well, Sean Payton said all that stuff. It was probably like, hey, Drew, can we get one more run? Hey, Drew, how's everything going this morning?
Listen to
Hey,
me.
Drew.
Is your thumb okay?
If the Baltimore Ravens hit up the Saints and said we would trade you Lamar for Taysom Hill, there would be Sean Payton.
Hey.
What?
Hey,
Bye.
look, you know
I
the
help you
worst-
pack.
Sean Payton will hand deliver that man to John Harbaugh. Okay? Stop it.
Hurry up, put that in the back of the trunk. Let's go. Let's go.
Driving from New
Yup,
Orleans all the way up to
exactly.
Baltimore, like
Yes. And there's no disrespect to Taysom Hill. You can't compare somebody who haven't put in work. Man, I'm tired of this, though. Like, he ain't been on the field yet.
But that's the thing, like that's what it's been going to. So that's why I'm happy.
he hasn't
that
been a
Drew Brees-
quarterback from the field.
Hey, look,
That's the
for
most
some
important
people,
part, too.
the bar is different when you look different.
He's not
Shout
in
out
Nate
to Mike.
Sudfield, man. Come on, dog.
I'm trying to tell you. It's like, no.
The sad part is, Nate's probably more accurate, but you can have that. Yeah, man, I don't know. It's a joke. Y'all just gotta stop Mike Florio. Please stop.
I mean,
All
congratulations
season,
to,
dude.
to Drew Brees for coming back again. I think they said it's his 20th year.
Yeah, that's
And I mean,
Big.
and this is no shade, and this is not being
Oh,
petty.
if
I'm
we
asking
gotta
a
start
serious
with
question
that.
because y'all always think I'm
Start
trying
with
to
that.
throw shade and be petty. I have a
Hey, hold
serious
on.
question.
If
He
you
only got
have
the
to-
one Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that that was my
If you have to
non-petty
start
question.
with
Oh,
that
then it
disclaimer,
wasn't petty.
See, that's what I was trying to say.
Oh,
But
my
I know
bad.
if I would have been
I
like, he only
apologize.
got one, right? Y'all would have been like,
Nah,
Yeah.
nah, I feel like doing some stuff underneath it. But go.
see,
Right?
it
Some
wasn't.
Eagle related
I
stuff.
feel-
That
not
was
even-
layered, man.
Hey, look.
That was layered.
Nah,
felt-
man, I was just trying to ask the serious question because
Okay.
I didn't know. It's 20 years ago. I was only 12,
So you want to hey, look? You want to
See?
know what it heard like?
See?
You
so I
know,
wanted to
see.
know if
Hey,
I missed any.
you want to know what I heard? So you say you got the same numbers Nick Foles? That's what I heard. That's what I heard. See?
I
That's-
wasn't saying that, but I'm not disagreeing.
That's what that was.
I'm not disagreeing because that is in true a fact.
Speak fluent Octavia. I
You
know
know.
what that was. That was
Fluent me.
that's what that was.
You know my petty undertones
Yes.
or something.
That
I
was a
wasn't
whole
one.
Nick
I
Foles
was
shot.
not.
Yes, that was.
Nick Foles don't even play for us no more. He don't even got a job no more.
But that's still your man's in them. Stop it.
If it ain't the Philly special happening next year, I don't care. Okay.
Anybody got anything else on this
So
nonsense?
is Breeze gonna be one of those guys that gets to play as long as he wants and
Yes.
nobody complains?
In New Orleans?
Yeah,
Yes.
they're not going to play.
And it's
Yeah.
always
Until he's-
everyone else's fault, and they'll make new rules. and
Even if he
everything else,
starts
and-
being terrible.
Look, man, when you win in a place they used to have paper bags, trash bags, and the stands, dog, you
You do
God.
no wrong.
You God.
There's
over
gonna be
there.
a couple in like 2 more generations. His name's still gonna be good in that city.
Oh, for we, and
Oh,
then,
yeah.
and then on top of that, man, off the field, you can just tell he
Yeah.
a good guy. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? He in the community, heavy, man. It's just, he's one of their own. So, yeah, I mean, he would have to fall off dramatically, like, yeah, dog, look, I don't know what to tell you.
All I can say is
You gotta
this.
move on.
All I can say is this, because Father Time is undefeated, and
Yeah.
I'm not wishing this on the Saints fan one iota. I'm just simply saying it would behoove you to retain Teddy Bridgewater. That's all I'm saying. You have a couple options. If it means losing little gadget guy, keep Teddy Bridgewater.
Inspector Gadget.
That's all I'm saying. Don't get caught slipping out here.
Oh, what they call him, bacon? He go good with anything. That's what they was calling him during the season.
We're going to see y'all next week.
Word.
Get over to findsnack.com.
They call him bacon.
MamaOnSports.com.
You see how
We
she just
appreciate y'all.
rolled in there on like regular conversation. If you ain't paying attention, you'll miss it. You be like, dog.
Hey, look,
They
I knew
did.
it wasn't done. You remember that whole disclaimer, right?
Yeah.
I told y'all.
Anybody that do that, you know it's coming. You just like,
No,
get
that
it.
was
Oh,
a 30-second
that's-
disclaimer.
That's anybody who knows that whatever they say, you guys are going to take it that way
was
when
a
I'm not
30
intending it to be
Look,
that way.
Matter of fact, y'all
And that
watching-
was a real thing.
I need a social media engagement type of sponsor.
That's like when
I tell
people
you,
say
it's
with
petty.
all due respect.
Yeah.
Nothing positive
And they
stuff
coming with
after that.
disrespect.
They coming with heat.
Like, don't take this the wrong way, but
Hey, shout out to Rodney. Thank you so much for what you're doing in the back.
For sure.
Man,
always.
And we'll see you guys next week. It's Focus TV.